walk among us like mortals, yet move like untouchable gods. From Kim Jong-un's ghostly convoys to Putin's invisible fortresses, ultimate power is not just protected, it is veiled within the mist of fear and secrecy. Kim Jong-un, the supreme leader of North Korea, does not move like a statesman, but like an elusive phantom. Every journey he makes is a theatrical act of survival, where every detail is calculated to the point of obsession. A bulletproof Maybach glides silently through deserted streets, flanked by 12 bodyguards jogging in perfect rhythm, as if programmed. But this is only the surface performance. Behind it lies a labyrinth of decoy convoys, shadow trains, and ghost flights that plunge pursuers into confusion. Even his meals are transformed into rituals of life and death. No chef ever knows the menu beforehand. Food is tested for poison in real time, and every piece of cutlery is sterilized before his eyes. Staff members are vetted down to 3 generations because in Kim's world, loyalty is not a privilege, it is an absolute duty. A single crack in that loyalty brings swift, brutal purges, a chilling reminder that proximity is not safety but peril. Away from the spotlight, Kim Jong-un's residences are not mere homes but an underground empire of bunkers. Over a dozen palaces are scattered across North Korea, each fortified with tunnels, missile defenses, and the luxuries of a 5-star resort. Yet this opulence serves not as comfort, but as camouflage. Fortresses built to shield him from enemies both real and imagined, including his own people. Hundreds of millions of dollars are poured into his personal protection each year, even as citizens face hunger and darkness. And so, a haunting question lingers in the silence. Is Kim Jong-un truly the ultimate ruler, or merely a captive, trapped inside the iron cage of fear and paranoia that he himself created? Xi Jinping, the president of China, does not simply appear in public. He rewrites the entire stage before he enters. Every movement, every gaze, every sound in his presence is pre-calculated, edited, and perfected. When Xi steps into the open, it is not merely security, it is algorithmic control. Crowds are not simply watched, they are scanned by facial recognition systems connected to vast state databases. Drones equipped with biometric sensors hover overhead, reading micro-expressions, heartbeats, even the subtle twitch of dissent. But it is not only people who are controlled. Nature itself is bent to protect him. During national events, cloud seeding operations are launched to guarantee perfect blue skies. Rain, like risk, is never allowed to fall on Xi. Entire cities fall silent, streets empty, traffic rerouted, civilians instructed to stay home. It is as if reality itself has been transformed into a carefully written script, and Xi is the sole character who matters. Those who serve him live under suffocating scrutiny. His chefs, doctors, even barbers are investigated to obsessive degrees, background checks extending for generations. A single inconsistency can erase a career, a life, even a family. Inside Zhongnanhai, the walled compound of China's elite, the luxury is not measured in gold, but in invisibility. Signal jammers, bulletproof walls, and a digital fortress more secure than most military networks. It is estimated that over $1 billion each year are devoted to Xi's personal security. Yet this is more than protection, it is performance. The fewer flaws the public can see, the more complete the illusion of omnipotence becomes. In Xi Jinping's China, the leader is not only shielded by guards, he is armored by a machine that edits reality itself. Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, is not merely protected. He has turned himself into a shadow. His security is not just a shield, but a labyrinth of myth and uncertainty. At its core lies the FSO, the Federal Protective Service, an organization so secretive that even Russian generals tread carefully around it. With an annual budget rumored to exceed $2 billion, the FSO is described as a state within a state, controlling not only where Putin appears, but who is even allowed to know his whereabouts. Every movement becomes a game of deception. Multiple armored motorcades depart from different locations simultaneously, each surrounded by armed teams, but only one contains the real man. At times, within just 48 hours, as many as 5 Putins have been sighted in different cities. Not illusions, but a masterclass in misdirection. Even those closest to him are never trusted for long. Chefs, aides, guards rotated constantly to prevent familiarity. Daily routines are disrupted, conversations monitored, and nothing is left to chance. Putin rarely drinks from an open glass. Every meal passes through tasters handpicked and vetted by intelligence services. In the digital realm, he exists like a ghost. No traces, no vulnerabilities. Communications are encrypted with military-grade systems, routed through secure underground bunkers. There is no off-guard Putin, no candid glimpse, only the version the world is meant to see. Putin's true power does not lie in tanks or missiles, but in the illusion of invulnerability. You cannot strike at a shadow, you can only fear it. And in Russia, that fear has become his sharpest weapon. For Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, does not merely rule through royal authority, he has redefined security through technology. After the shocking Khashoggi incident, the circle of protection around him was not just tightened, it was transformed into a system that is cold, precise, and almost inhuman. In MBS's world, every glance, every heartbeat, every movement becomes data. Cameras and AI-driven sensors do not simply record, they analyze. If a guard's gaze lingers too long, if a servant's pulse rises even slightly, the system flags it instantly. Loyalty is not just expected. It is measured, tracked, and enforced, second by second. His motorcade is not transportation, it is a fleet of mobile fortresses, armored Rolls-Royces, limousines equipped with drone jamming technology, and even vehicles designed to self-destruct if compromised. His routes shift constantly, schedules are concealed, and deception becomes routine, ensuring that no enemy can predict his moves. MBS's palaces are no less formidable. His private estate by the Red Sea, costing more than $500 million, is shielded by facial recognition gates, fingerprint locks, and robotic sentries that patrol day and night. Opulence and cold surveillance blend into a single message: he cannot be touched. Even his $500 million Serene superyacht is more than a luxury. It is a floating fortress, complete with missile detection systems and a helipad. Yet beneath this spectacle of power lies a haunting question. Is MBS constructing an unshakable citadel of dominance, or has he built for himself a technological prison from which even he cannot escape? 5. Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the president of Turkey, is not just a leader, he is a survivor. On the night of the failed 2016 coup, when rebels stormed his hotel only minutes after he escaped, Erdogan learned that power is not merely protected, it must be fortified by relentless vigilance. Since then, the security around him has grown into an empire, costing more than $28 million annually. His personal guard exceeds 1,000 men, many of them elite special forces, trained not only in combat but also in psychological profiling and crisis response. Their personal lives are monitored as tightly as Erdogan's travel routes, leaving no room for betrayal. Every trip resembles a military operation. Streets are locked down, rooftops secured, and routes altered at the last moment. His motorcade is a moving fortress. Bulletproof, blast-resistant Mercedes Maybachs, flanked by armored vehicles, helicopters, and electronic jammers designed to neutralize remote explosives. In the skies, his $100 million Airbus A332 Prestige is more than a private jet. It is a flying command center, equipped with missile defense systems and encrypted communications designed to withstand cyber warfare. Each journey is not simple transportation. It is a performance of power, a statement that Erdogan moves only within an impenetrable sphere. Yet beneath this display lies an indelible memory: the night when his life and rule nearly ended. That ghost of vulnerability still follows him, shaping his every step. It has turned Erdogan into a man who never truly rests, a leader who governs not only with authority, but with a perpetual fear that never sleeps. Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, is not just the head of a nation, he is the living symbol of its war. Since the first Russian bombs rained down on Kyiv, he has been target number one, not only for missiles but for assassins, mercenaries, and the shadows of covert operations. Zelensky never sleeps in the same place twice. His journey is a trail of shifting shadows, one night in an underground bunker in Kyiv, another in a train speeding through the countryside, the next in a makeshift war room lit by flashlights. This constant vanishing act is not cowardice, but strategy. To survive is to keep the resistance alive. His security is a rare fusion of forces: former British SAS, NATO advisors, American intelligence specialists, all blended into a rotating shield. They oversee every detail, from satellite scans of city streets to encrypted digital channels. His armored SUV convoys, worth hundreds of thousands of dollars each, carry jamming devices capable of silencing entire city blocks. Routes are changed every hour, plans reshuffled endlessly, leaving enemies chasing phantoms. Yet what makes Zelensky unique is not wealth or advanced tech. It is symbolism. While other leaders hide in palaces or aboard luxury yachts, he appears in fatigues, weary-eyed, standing shoulder to shoulder with soldiers and civilians. His safety does not come from distance, but from endurance alongside his people. Every time Zelensky appears on screen, whether addressing the U.S. Congress or standing near the front lines of Bakhmut, it is more than the image of a president. It is a declaration: Ukraine still lives, and so do I. Alexander Lukashenko, the president of Belarus, often called Europe's last dictator, does not rule from an office. He rules from a fortress. Hidden inside a militarized zone, surrounded by soldiers, tanks, and barbed wire, his residence is no palace, but a multi-layered bunker. Inside, every detail speaks of paranoia and control. Bulletproof walls, signal jammers, underground escape tunnels, and multiple decoy exits to mislead any potential attackers. Every room is monitored, every conversation at risk of being recorded. Even the very air within the compound carries the weight of surveillance. But Lukashenko's defenses go beyond bricks and steel. He governs through constant rotation. No chef, guard, or aide remains near him for long. This endless turnover prevents betrayal, ensuring no one ever sees the full picture of his daily life. Distance becomes armor. Isolation turns into his most effective weapon. Across the nation, he has built a sweeping surveillance web. Phone lines tapped, private messages intercepted, and streets monitored by cameras, backed with facial recognition and artificial intelligence. His security forces operate with near absolute authority, spreading fear into every corner of Belarusian life. Though Belarus's economy is modest, millions are still funneled into Lukashenko's personal protection: secret bunkers, imported armored convoys, and encrypted communications hubs. For him, survival is not merely a strategy. It is an obsession, and it is this obsession that defines his rule. Not trust, not loyalty, but a climate of permanent fear. Felix Tshisekedi, the president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, may not dominate global headlines, but the layers of security around him tell a haunting story. In a nation rich in resources yet riddled with instability, he is not merely a leader. He is a man entrenched within his own fortress. Unlike many heads of state who rely on their national armies, Tshisekedi has built a private military force loyal only to him. Trained and overseen by foreign advisors from Russia and China, this force operates as a living wall, separating the president from the volatile world beyond. His presidential compound in Kinshasa is surrounded by multiple rings of defense: steel barriers, checkpoints, and surveillance systems imported from Chinese tech firms. Every street around the residence falls under scrutiny, every entry tightly controlled. Even food deliveries must pass through 3 levels of clearance before reaching his table. The most chilling aspect, however, is his calculated isolation. No aide, no guard, no staff member remains close to him for long. Constant rotation ensures no one builds trust and no one possesses the full picture of his private world. Even supposed allies are kept at arm's length, monitored and managed as potential threats. Each year, more than $100 million is spent solely on his personal protection, a staggering sum in a country where most citizens survive on less than $2 a day. Thus, Tshisekedi's power carries a stark paradox. Though he stands atop the political summit, he lives as if walking through a minefield, every step a test of survival.